Welcome to Hearts Unleashed, a personal and professional development podcast. We are raising the frequency of humanity through emotional intelligence. Life coach, best-selling author, and speaker Abigail Gazda interviews amazing humans from all industries, sharing inspiration and insight about thriving as your most authentic self. If you're ready to open your heart and take inspired action on your dreams, you are in the perfect place with wonderful people. Here's your host, dreamer, educator, and adventurer, Abigail Gazda.
All right. Welcome to the Hearts Unleashed podcast, where we are turning dreamers into doers. And I am excited, honored, girl fanning over here to share with you Linnea and her pup, Aquila. Is Aquila right behind you right there?
She is. She's actually looking out the opposite window. So you might be able to see a little butt. That's about it.
Yes. In fact, thanks for reminding me. So listeners, we normally have just the audio, but today for this episode, we have a video recording of this interview on YouTube. So be sure to come check us out on YouTube as well if you prefer to watch the video so you can see Aquila's butt and Linnea's beautiful face. And she is traveling in her van. She is a solo female van lifer traveling across the country. The way that I met Linnea or was introduced to her was actually YouTube as well. I started watching her van build because, as many of you know, I am also building out my own van, and she is a little bit of a personal hero of mine. I've got to watch Linnea build her van out by herself, figure stuff out. I will automatically compliment you, Linnea. You are a far better researcher than I am. I just buy a bunch of wood and I figure it out, and then it sucks, and then I do it again. But yes, I'm so excited to have you here. Thank you for the work that you've done and the way that you've shared your unleashed heart with the world.
Well, thank you so much for having me and for all of those kind words. I'm really happy that you found me on YouTube and reached out and that we get to do this together. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's awesome. So I would love to start where I usually start with guests. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey and what got you to this point.
Man, that could be a whole
you get to
podcast.
Yeah.
I'll try to keep it short, but basically I would say that I'm kind of my foundation in my life, I would say, starts with me just really wanting to experience different things and live as full as I can. And I know that that's what a lot of people want to do with their life. And a few years ago, I just decided that what I was doing wasn't enough for me. I was really grateful for what I had and for the life that I had built. And with that gratitude, I still recognized that I wanted something different and I wanted something more. And so I guess it kind of really began accumulating in college when I decided to not play my last year of college basketball, which is a really hard decision. Kind of left that community, entered a new community out west in Utah doing wilderness therapy, wanted a little bit more for myself. Then I stepped into the entrepreneurial world, started my own business so that I could get on the road eventually. When I had enough money, enough stability to actually be able to do something with it, that's when I just took a risk and started researching vans. Didn't know what I was doing. I had no idea what I was doing and just jumped right in, got a van, decided, well, I don't have the money. And also I want to really challenge myself and do this entire thing by myself without any knowledge. Jumped right in, and here I am today, sitting in my little house that I love with all of my heart, with my best friend.
Yes, I love it. Yeah. And trying to connect was kind of funny because you're in a trucker parking lot, figuring out the internet, like you went from computer to phone. And it just makes me laugh because last year I did a 5-month camper trip around the country. And so I relate a lot. I'm building the van because I want to be more stealthy, but I really have a lot of understanding and grace for trying to figure all that out. Like I kind of imagined you in, like when we were connecting, I thought you were like in the forest, just like running your phone around. Like, can I get on? But I've been there, done that. And we have like a very similar sort of background. I played college basketball as well. When I did
That's
do
so
the thing where I like totally stalked your whole life and saw like basketball jerseys, and I was like, and GLVC. I'm from Northwest Indiana. I played in
Oh
Indiana.
my gosh,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. So I played for St. Joseph's College, and I saw your stuff and I was like, oh my God. And so, yeah, I've been having a lot of fun, just like I'm excited for the interview, but it's been really cool to see your evolution. And a lot of us, you said something that was really important, like it just wasn't enough. And I knew that there was more. And no matter what people's background is, because not everybody played a college sport or started from maybe a 9 to 5, or they have a certain family, a certain lifestyle, a certain background, whatever, economic status, and it's possible. I think that to me, watching you build, trying it myself, I want to be able to turn around and say, I did that. You know, like my dad's a contractor. A lot of people are like, if you need any help. And I'm like, thanks. And no thanks, like from love, no thanks. I really want to do this. And so, what was the experience like of stepping out on your own? What were people's responses, and how was that? Because I saw the interview you did with your mom too.
Man, complete mix. I'm really lucky to have a very supportive family, like immediate family. My mom and my brothers, they weren't surprised. We have always been very adventurous and kind of did different things. So luckily for me, my immediate family was like, okay, cool. She's going to do this new thing. Typical Linnea. I think that the outside world, so a lot of like friends from college, high school, maybe extended family, I think it really is just a lack of understanding.
Mhm.
You know, like, oh, somebody's gonna live in a vehicle. How does that even work? How do you make money? And so I think there was a lot of skepticism and a lot of thinking like, oh, this is just a phase. Like
Yeah.
like she'll get the travel bug out of her. Where in reality, it's a lifestyle choice. Just like when people purchase a house or an apartment or a condo somewhere, it's just a choice of lifestyle. And that was, I guess, the hardest part for me as far as outside perspectives is, no, I'm just going to live this way, because the only way that they understand is through watching and through you showing over time what it actually is. Yeah.
And I'm sure you could answer this at every year of the experience, but like, what have you had to give up to have this life that you now have?
So, I think I'm still actually learning what I've had to give up, because it's not just a one-time decision and you're like, I'm leaving all this stuff behind, but you're learning about how it has affected things as you go. So, the first thing that comes to mind is actually a relationship that I left in the past. And I didn't know that this decision was going to ultimately be a catalyst or an extra piece to the puzzle that would end a beautiful relationship. But it did. And that's just the way things fall and how life happens. I think that I've left different communities behind, different securities that we really like to fall on, the security of a 9 to 5, of a 401k, of health insurance, of security of your house being in one spot all the time. And I have learned that for me, and this isn't for everybody, but those securities are they're false. They're false securities, and that I don't need them, and that those things actually don't make me feel secure anymore. And so kind of relearning some of that has been really important. I would say that those are the main things that come to mind with that.
I love it. What have you gained?
Oh my gosh, my life, like my dream life. That's what I've gained.
Yes.
I mean, there are days, even today, in this parking lot, like, it's frustrating. So I'm traveling with my boyfriend Chris right now, and he has a bus, and his bus is breaking down, and we're just finally leaving the Midwest, getting back to where I call home, which is just the Western United States.
Yeah.
And we were supposed to be entering Montana basically today, and we're in a truck stop instead because the rigs are having some issues, and that's okay, because even now I'm like, man, this is amazing. I have my little cabin with me. I'm always with Aquila. I have the freedom to spend my time the way I want to. I'm connecting with beautiful people. Like, this is my dream life. I have so much to look forward to all of the time. This is what I've gained. Me sitting in a truck stop with all this freedom.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. It's really beautiful because the entrepreneurial journey, like it's not for everybody. The nomad lifestyle is not for everybody. So I just realizing people's different definitions of freedom, different definitions of success, at least for myself, I caught myself chasing other people's definitions of success or a societal version of success, and to really come to understand myself and then say, no, I actually want like this. And it's never been shown to me before until especially the internet. This has been a progression over the last 5, 6 years. And so every time I see a little bit more freedom by my terms, or I get into nature and feel freedom, or, living out of a suitcase, I've been a nomad without a van. And so just traveling, right? And so it's really beautiful. And I think that's a big part of Hearts Unleashed is we talk about you can get paid to be you. And I would love to hear your version of that or your experience of that, because a lot of people think that only means an entrepreneurial journey. And sometimes that really just means a 9 to 5 that really fits your natural way of being or whatever. So what would you say about getting paid to be you?
Oh man. Well, I agree that it's not for everybody, that each little subset of what you can do, it truly is not for everybody. And we have so many beautiful options these days for being paid in multiple ways. Like we are at the absolute best time in history to do the things we love and get paid for it. And so I guess like what goes through my mind is I have really good friends that are they're PAs and they're accountants. And to them, that's them. They want that. They want the structure. They want the financial security. They want the big house and a lot of kids. That's very much them. They would hate this lifestyle, hate it. And so, I think about that being them. And then I think about me looking at their lives, visiting them, recognizing their beautiful life and saying, I don't want any of that, And so what I have learned, especially through the very first business that I started, and then moving into the YouTube space and social media space, being paid for being you, like that phrase works so beautifully on social media. Because I think the only reason that I am to the point where I am in social media is because of those initial videos of me doing my van and showing all of my mistakes, not planning necessarily how I look or how I appear. Things aren't overly edited. Like it's truly just me being me, my personality, being okay saying, guys, I have no idea what I'm doing. This is just what I'm going to try, dropping the ego in that way. And then people are drawn to that. So truly just like showing your personality and showing all of yourself. People want that these days. They want to get away from a lot of the fake stuff that we've seen for years. And so they're just like looking for real people. And so in that way, I think that you can get, quote unquote, paid for being you.
Yeah. I am so glad that you said that exactly that way, because I'm very much that way. I know a lot of the listeners you look at someone's really curated pages or websites. We were just joking about the website. Mine is like a construction zone right now. And you can still get paid. You can still make a difference. You can still make an impact. And that or authenticity. We often talk about authenticity, Hearts Unleashed, finding out who you are and then sharing that on loudspeaker, right? And you do that so well. And I also think you said something really important, without making other people wrong. Yeah, you have that really beautiful life. I'm so happy for you. And I'm so glad that fits you. And this is what fits me. And like, it can all coexist really harmoniously.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's awesome. And you have made a living on YouTube and social media, and you just hit 100K followers. That is so exciting.
Thank you so much.
Big congratulations. That's amazing. And what's that journey been like? Because I know we have a lot of people listening in looking to make a living on social media and again, share who they are and their gifts and their services. So what's your experience been like building your online career?
Well,
We get an Aquila feature. Hi, Aquila.
oh, maybe she'll come a little closer soon.
Yes, it's beautiful.
It's been really something. It's been interesting to say the least. I think I say it's been interesting because it was never a plan of mine.
Mm-hmm.
So the way that this panned out was very different than my first business, where there was a lot of planning in my first business, a lot of like, here are my goals. This is what I think success is in this realm. And YouTube was just like, okay, I'm going to throw these videos up there, be totally myself. I have no expectation of how they will do. I think maybe they'll help some people. And then it just took off. And so learning about myself within that process has been the best way for me to create success with that process. And I'll explain that a little bit. I think at the start, I had no expectations for it. I was just putting myself out there. And when things really started picking up, I thought, okay, I might actually make some money. Is this something that I want to transition into? And then I had to deal with mean people online.
Yes.
I had to deal with comparing myself to other creators or other women on the road. And those few things, I very quickly learned that I truly am creating for myself and doing the things that I want to do. And so I vlog, I don't do build stuff anymore. I did just get done actually a build series, but I mostly vlog now. And I have made a promise to myself that I will never do things in order to please my audience. I will live my life, and it just happens to be filmed.
Yep. Yeah.
And I love the creativity with that, because there's a lot of problem solving around like, okay, I'm not creating a story, I'm filming my life. And then I have to figure out how to put this into a fun, aesthetic story for YouTube. And I think the second big thing as far as comparing, I don't consume a lot of social media as far as other people. I follow very few van lifers unless I know them in person. I don't look at any other solo female or really any other van lifers on YouTube, because that way I can just solely create from my heart. I can just create from what I'm doing, and I don't feel any pressure to live a specific life, because I do know that I'm living differently than a lot of other women on the road, and that's okay. And I love that. And I can just create that, those videos from the unique life that I'm living.
Oh, makes my heart so warm.
I'm so glad.
I mean, it's beautiful because I listen to what you're saying. Like, we have so many different genres of people on the Hearts Unleashed podcast because it's just about hearts. Like, everyone's got one, right? So it doesn't matter what industry, what conversation. And so I'm hearing what you're saying about van life. And then we have, 55,000 downloads, and I can bet maybe one or two people might live in a van, maybe, or a tiny house. Yeah. And they also want to be themselves. They also want to live their life and then get paid to do it, or share it and be accepted, and maybe face some rejection. Like, we'll talk about that in a minute too. But I just love the way you said, I turn off the noise or the influence, like the comparison, but also it's easy to get wrapped up in that. Social media is always just a click away, and not morphing away from who you know yourself to be. In fact, this journey showing you more of who you are, and then not, kind of trailing off to keep up or show off or gain the vanity metrics of a like or a follow or subscription. And so it's challenging. We don't all have exclusive training in this. The social media life is a very unnavigated territory for all of us, including people who might call themselves experts. Like, we're still at the forefront of whatever this is, all of it in general. And so I just thank you for putting that out into the world, because there's a lot of people starting at square one right now, looking at everything, trying to like match it or, again, copy something. So the authenticity, though, I'm gonna get a bit mystical for a minute, or cosmic, is like, it's in the stars, people. Like, authenticity is it. Anything that is inauthentic is just going to disintegrate, like it fall apart. It can't withstand the test of time. You can you can shape something, and you'll like grasp so hard, and it will continue to just fall right out of your hands. And so,
Yeah.
the more authentic, the better. And so let's talk about that for a moment. You've been really authentic. What sort of challenges, like feedback, mean people, negative stuff, like without, a whole rabbit hole of it, but what have you had to overcome in that area?
Well, I think mostly, I mean, my brain just goes to comments that have really affected me.
Hmm.
Um, I think judgments from other people can be really hard, especially when you are really truly just showing up completely as yourself. And they range. I think the hard thing is the dichotomy of comments of people that like, and this also just is another message about like you really can't please everybody, and that's why it really only matters to make content the way you want to make it.
Yes.
But even people, let's say, commenting on my looks, right?
Hmm.
Like, oh man, I love how down to earth you are and how you're so confident in a baseball hat and no makeup. And then you have men saying, you should really wear your hair down more. You look so much more beautiful if you did X, Y, and Z. And then same thing with like the way I live, right? People being really upset that I am not like a female vegan van lifer because I'm fishing and I'm planning a hunt coming up, and that irritates a lot of people that I don't fit their idea of what a woman living in a van is. And so having those things kind of constantly coming in from this outside world, there at the very beginning, I was like, oh man, this is going to be so hard for me. Like, I don't know if I can do this. And I remember telling my mom, if this ever does affect my mental health in a way that isn't serving me, I'm done. Like I'm off YouTube. I know I can find other work, whatever. But as I have grown, especially the community that watches me, and they knowing that they have my back, and also making it very clear that this is who I am, and putting myself out there rather than like an image of what I want people to see, just being like, yeah, this is what I am. I'm planning a hunt. That means that I'm probably going to be killing an animal and eating it. I love fishing. Yes, I eat the fish that I catch. It's like, okay, people can take it or leave it. And making it very clear to them, you can take it or leave it. There are other people living your idea of this lifestyle. Follow them, and that is okay, or you can follow me. And if you do, I'll ask is that you're respectful, and then that's it, So I would say that that's mostly what I've had to deal with, but it gets easier over time. At least it has for me.
That was actually kind of the as you were saying it, and my next question came in very quickly, is like, how do you keep your heart open? How do you, stay sourced at how do you take care of yourself because it is challenging. And I often talk about on the podcast, like emotional endurance, the endurance it takes to withstand feedback like that, comments like that, because they're ruthless. And it's like, hey, thanks. You don't know me like that. So yeah, how do you keep your heart open?
I listen to my body. That's what I do. So I think so. I'm a very introverted person. And over the last, I would say like 4 years, I have been more and more okay with how introverted I actually am. And so another kind of layer on top of that, as far as keeping my heart open, is that I don't give a shit about algorithms at all. So I try to be consistent with my YouTube videos. If I'm not, I'm not. Same thing with Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever it is. If I am tired, if I'm feeling emotionally exhausted, if I don't want to deal with some stuff, I just don't post for a while. I put no pressure on myself because, well, I do put some pressure on myself for YouTube because I enjoy the consistency that it provides me to my life. But as far as the other algorithms and whatnot, I need time away from the numbers and from the comments, and I take it. And that allows me to really turn inward and regain perspective and remember that it's really just none of my business what people want to think or say, and remember all of the amazing people that are supporting me, and that those people too are what allows me to stay open But mostly I would say just my recharge time is what does it.
Yeah.
And not really giving much thought into, if my numbers are dropping, whatever, I don't care. Because it's about me, it's about longevity, it's about my authenticity. And if I'm exhausted, I can't show up in a way that's really, really real.
Perfectly said. Like that, you can't, it's so, I think people, because it's so repeated, like you can't pour from an empty cup. They're like, yeah. But like, no, really,
Yeah.
So, there's that. And then I don't know why I just felt like, would you like to say anything specifically to the community that follows you in this moment? Because it seems like you have a lot of loyal followers, a lot of friends, a lot of fans, people you've met on the road, people who watch you on the road. Is there any shout out you'd like to give to the people who've been with you most of the journey?
I try to say things, and there are literally no words for that community. Like I can't express enough love and enough like appreciation for all of you that follow me and that watch me, because it was really weird how this has all progressed. And I think that some of the most special moments I've had are like meeting those people in real life, and what looks like numbers on a screen turning into real humans. And just like, there's not enough. I mean, English has so many words, but there are not enough words to share my love and gratitude for those people, you know? Yeah. And just how special everybody is. And yeah.
Beautiful. Well, and I'm hoping that a lot of people watching this from our community, from the Hearts Unleashed community, come over and check you out, because you are on YouTube. Obviously, you crossed over 100K. That's so cool. Like, I know it's just a testimony to like your consistency. I'm not even going to say hard work. It's, you're living your life, you're just sharing, but the consistency is key. And I think a lot of people want to hurry up and get there and arrive to some destination because they do have a destination for success in mind. And that's okay too. Like whatever goals you want to set, but also just showing up day in, day out, when it's tough, when you're tired, and showing up for yourself as much as you do show up for your community. And so I just want to acknowledge you for that, because one content creator to another, like, I don't know, you can't backlog that information. You just have to show up every week. And you do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So I really want to thank you for this time. It's been so amazing. And I really look forward to continuing to watch your life unfold and perhaps meet you down the road. That'll be really fun, and connect and all of that stuff. But you guys, if you love this interview, if you love this opportunity, be sure to check out all the show notes and connect with Linnea. We'll have all of her links. And one last question about life on the road with a pup. What is that like and how's it going? And tell us details about that.
It's amazing. It's so amazing. I actually get a lot of questions about, like, what if you can't go here or there, or like, what are all the challenges? And man, when you, do you have a dog or
I don't.
a pet?
I have a cat, and when I went full nomad, like 5 years ago, after about a year, my mom was like, "That's my cat now. So if you want another one, you're gonna have to get one." So I'm like, "Okay, but I love Murphy."
Oh,
So no, I'll be solo for a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, okay. Well, you know what it's like to have a pet, but I think with whenever you have a pet that you love so dearly, there are constantly things that you give up for them, right?
Yeah.
But man, having a companion like her on the road, I feel as though I am providing the most amazing life for her, and I get to watch it. Like, how freaking cool is that? And I was actually talking to a friend the other day, and he asked me a similar thing. And I was like, there's a really cool like mirroring effect that happens with Akila and I. We're very similar in personality and also what we like to do and what we need and our wants and everything. We're very enmeshed. And it's so cool when I get to go out in the backcountry with her and I get to watch her like really being a dog and sniffing around and playing and rolling in the dirt without any restrictions, without me, not letting her do certain things or whatever. And I almost always am like, man, what she's experiencing right now is what I'm experiencing as a human. Like she gets to be a dog, like a full dog. And I feel like I get to be like a full human and experience this world and this life. And so I think that it's just a beautiful experience and the sacrifices are worth it. And kind of molding life around a companion like Akilah, one of the coolest experiences ever. I wouldn't change a thing.
Thank you so much. That was the exact motivation I needed to go figure out my solar system tonight. I'm going to be hooking that up. So thank you, because life on the road just excites me so much. So you're just motivating me to keep it moving. And we've heard so much from you today. And so without trying to sound redundant, I love to ask the question, what does it look like for you to be living your heart unleashed? So from here forward, what does that look like?
For me, it looks like taking a lot of risks and getting really uncomfortable with being uncomfortable. That's kind of something that I try to live by. And with being nomadic and traveling and living out of your backpack, that some of the best experiences are some of the most uncomfortable things that we experience in life. So much comes from those. And so for me, moving forward and living, unleashed in my own way is by doing really hard things and taking risks and trying to have really full experiences that are packed with uncomfortable things, both physical and emotional and all of it. And so that's how I'm kind of moving forward in that.
Yeah. And do you have any parting words for someone who is dreaming about living their dream, whatever that is?
Keep dreaming, but start doing. That's what I would say.
Thank you. Yes.
Nothing's going to happen,
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and here at the Hearts Unleashed podcast, we are turning dreamers into doers.
There you go.
So thank you.
Well, that's perfect. That was not planned, everybody.
Yeah. Nope. You guys, this was very unplanned. We just planned to be here today and it worked. Yeah. We overcame overheating phones and service and trucking parking lots. And you know what? Yeah. It's been so great. I am so grateful to you. Thank you for who you are. Thank you for sharing your unleashed heart. And we look forward to seeing you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. And hearts, thank you for being here. Thank you for dreaming. Don't forget to start doing. It's your turn. It's your time. Whatever that is, you can take that step. No need to compare. It's your opportunity to be your authentic self and live your heart unleashed. Thank you for tuning into the Hearts Unleashed podcast, where we are turning dreamers into doers. We love you.
Thanks for tuning in to the Hearts Unleashed podcast. We hope you found all the inspiration that you needed today and that you use it to take the next inspired action on your dreams. If you love the show, share it with a friend. We love spreading the love. For more information, to listen to more episodes, or to shop Hearts Unleashed, visit us at heartsunleashed.com. See you next time, Hearts.